Hey everyone, my name is Rhea and this is Tejas. We are the creators of Lump Slum.
Before we talk about the BTS and show you guys why we shot certain shots of the documentary in a certain way, I would highly recommend that you watch the documentary first in case you haven't. The video will be linked in the description box down below and there will be spoilers, so definitely go watch it first and then come back to this BTS video.
We are first year film students in Mumbai and this documentary was a part of our production class in college. We were told that we could choose a topic of our choice and we had just 4 months to make this documentary. We wanted a strong female character living in harsh conditions like the slums, and so we found Purva and we chose to make this documentary on her.
The first thing we'll talk about is the intro sequence. Now the intro sequence is about a minute long. Halfway through this intro sequence we see this shot of me standing in the middle of the road. Well, obviously you don't see me standing there, but I was standing in the middle of the road. I took a few steps ahead and I panned the camera from left to right, and came out to be a pretty dynamic shot because we got to see the traffic from both sides going away from the camera and coming into the camera. Unfortunately there's no BTS for this, but it was really fun and I almost died.
So we just got interrupted because our food is here. You start living on junk when you're away from home. So the last scene of the intro sequence is my favorite shot in the entire documentary. I love how it's taken in just one take and how seamless it looks. Next, the sizzle sound that you're about to hear as Purva pours into the pot was actually created by us at home simply by sprinkling water on a hot pan.
And here's some BTS of me taking a shot of Purva from a low angle, closing in on the action of her doing her work. So originally we had not planned on taking this particular shot. It was not listed down in the list of shots we wanted to take for that day. But as the DOP, when I was recording stuff, the editor in me also came in play, and I realized that I could also put a transition scene over here which can seamlessly show the passage of time between Chirag and Purva walking to the house and just sitting on the floor and chatting. So that seamless transition was achieved, which I think turned out pretty well.
The first day of shoot, we went and we took Purva's interview to get a sense of her backstory, and the narrative of the entire documentary is based on just those interviews.
When we came back home that day and we were looking at the shots, I was not pleased with what I saw because of the focus hunting that was happening. As the DOP, it should have been my responsibility to make sure that I set the camera on manual focus, because when you're shooting a static subject and the camera is not moving as well, it's best to shoot on manual focus so that your camera doesn't shift focus all the time, and that was a little bit distracting, but I'm hoping that all the intercuts that we put here and there sort of solve that issue. Very critical.
In case you did not notice, over here, this clip where she says they look at me differently, the camera angle changes to a different view, subconsciously causing the viewer to be put in Purva's shoes. And I really love that we incorporated this shot, even though what she is saying in the video isn't what the voiceover is saying. If you look at her lip movement, you'll notice the differences, but because the hand gestures matched pretty well, and because it's a short clip, we thought it was essential to add it, and that the audience may not recognize this minor mistake.
This next shot over here is one of my personal favorites in the entire documentary. I really liked the idea that I had in mind of showing Purva's mother as she mentions her name. As she says I, that's when the mother's face comes into focus. I just wish that I'd used a sharper lens over here because I had to scale in the image a little bit while I was editing, and that resulted in a little bit of loss of quality. But otherwise, it's still a very nice shot and I'm very, very pleased with this.
So in this next shot, there is another hidden meaning. Purva talks about how her customers have increased in number over time, and you can see how she's straightening her measuring tape and the numbers are increasing as well.
During the course of the interview with the mother-in-law, she actually mentioned halfway through the interview that Purva clears the mother-in-law's excretion when the mother-in-law was sick, but that was not playing well with the intercuts that we were showing of the family eating dinner, because obviously it's a little bit jarring for the audience to look at food and then the mother-in-law is talking about excretion. With a little bit of editing magic, I managed to put that part of the interview at the very end. We did not want to exclude that completely. We could have done that, but we did want to show that part because it is essential to Purva's backstory. It was amazing that the mother-in-law, she said about clearing the excretion, she had this long pause which made it feel like as if that was the last part of the interview, so that pretty much fit well.
The concept of the survival of the fittest drives them to hustle and work hard every single day.
We went to Purva's home and showed her the documentary. We presented her with 2 posters and gave her family and Ashi some gifts as a token of our appreciation. Seeing the smile on Purva's face really made us extremely proud of the work we've done, and we want to continue making such projects in the future. So that's pretty much all the interesting BTS stuff that we have for you guys. Be sure to follow us on our respective YouTube channels and our Instagrams, link below, so that you are up to date with everything we will be creating in the future. As always, thank you for watching.
So that's when I now I'm conscious of saying so pleased with this because yeah, the aesthetic which fit well with the whole stuff.
That last one is a huge para. Start living on junk when you're away from home. I'm kidding, mom and dad, if you're watching this, I eat healthy too.
So we're going to be talking about food over here because we do see food in the intercuts in this part of the documentary. Why I mentioned food is because we just got food and I can actually smell it filling up the room. I'm getting really hungry, so we're going to wrap this up really fast. I got this, bro. I got this.
I'm very hungry.
During the interview, the mother-in-law actually mentioned... I don't guess actually.
Can I use this for bloopers?
It was pretty nice and yeah. And
Yeah.
We are so cringe.
So cringe.